LFC Daytrippers, brought to you by bookmakers.com.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the Fatback 4 on the LFC Daytrippers. Want to apologise for the slight delay there. I was there waiting on Gav to come on saying, where's that fucker tonight? And then remember that he's having a night off. So, yeah, my bad, a little bit late. Only three of us tonight. I'm hosting Keith and we have Emmet and Seany with us. And we're going to just look ahead to the game tomorrow night against Leicester and what sort of happened over the weekend in the Premier League. So, lads, how are you? Emmet, how's things?
Good, yeah. I'm looking at a little bit red. I was up the north yesterday and forgot to bring sun cream and got absolutely scorched. My arms look like those pink and white squidgy sweets, you know them? Half white and half pink, yeah. So, no, it was brilliant. I have to say, the Northwest 200 motorbike racing, you don't appreciate how, you can watch as many videos as you want, but you don't appreciate how crazy and how fast they're actually going until you're actually standing there beside the road. It's unbelievable. It's an experience.
Good stuff, very enjoyable. Seany, what about you? What you was high octane as Emmet this weekend, or?
No, I was chilled out. Just watched that Lewis Capaldi documentary there. It's fairly good, but bit somber. But yeah, chilled out for me this weekend. Watched a bit of football. Just watched Barca winning the league there. So yeah, not bleeding lunatics down 200 miles an hour down country roads on motorbikes. They fucking balls like Bengal tigers, them boys. It's not for me though.
Yeah, it's a mad old scene. But look, each of their own. They are a bit mad. Is this the one where someone dies every time, and it's just?
Well, thankfully, I don't think
cracking egg.
Well, that's the Isle of Man TT. I think the only time post Second World War that someone hasn't actually lost their life at the Isle of Man TT was 1982. So. But Northwest had something like 4 or 5 red flags yesterday. But thankfully, when I got home, I checked Twitter and they all seemed to be okay. So God only knows how. But like, Jesus Christ, I swear to God, I'll show you some videos after. It's crazy.
Good stuff. Before we get on to the game with Liverpool that we will look ahead to, just the weekend results, Seany. Did that stand out for you? What do you make of what happened over the weekend in the Premier League and how it leaves the table looking both at the top and the bottom, I suppose, because maybe not the top for us, but there is implications on both ends over the results, isn't there?
Yeah, I kind of like, since we put this run together, we were needing snookers. We still need snookers if we are going to get into the top 4, but you're kind of thinking, right, between now, the last 3 weeks, between now and the end of the season, we need at least one result a week going our way. And we got it again this week with Newcastle dropping points. So I know people are saying, the game's in hand and they're at home, but they're dragged right in it now as well. An expected win for United at home to a Wolves side that pretty much on the beach. They were very tepid yesterday. It was a real nothing performance from them. And I think it was figuratively wrapped up this weekend. Maybe not mathematically, but it looks like that. It's going to be Man City's 5th title in 6 years. And it looks sort of like it's setting alarm bells off sort of around the league now with other fan bases, exactly what's going on. I mean, maybe if it wasn't Liverpool who were running them close the last few years, people probably would have paid more attention, seeing as it was Man City saving football. But again, they saved football again for another season with their 115 charges and another 90-odd point season, and they're looking like they could do they're looking well up for a treble. So, another like a good weekend, like an enjoyable weekend. Everything got bashed, which is taking that back down to earth. And sort of tomorrow night, we're in a position where if we win, we're putting United and Newcastle under immense pressure, and if we lose, we're putting everything under immense pressure. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I've made me peace with us being a Europa League team next year, and I've kind of, not that I've willingly accepted it, but it is what it is. There's an incentive there anyway for us because it's potential final in Dublin, which would be fucking biblical, off the charts if they were to make it. But
4D chess.
Look, we can still look. Fourth is more on now than it was last week. Like, there's no doubt about it. That result has gone our way. Win tomorrow and see what happens on Tuesday night with Newcastle and Brighton, and then we go from there. Because I don't think United are going to win out as well. Like, I wasn't that convinced by them yesterday. So a bit of pressure on us tomorrow now to go out and probably put a nail in Leicester's coffin, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say on it is I'm sort of sad to see Southampton go down, because that one of them clubs that, not that have a soft spot for, obviously they gave us some of our better players, but they're a good club, good football. They were in the Premier League when I was a kid, and they're gone back down now. So let's see. Let's see what happens.
It'll be interesting to see if they can bounce back, because you look at Southampton over the last few years, the amount of talent that's come through there. You know, there has been an awful lot of players, and you know, they always seem to have these lads coming in. So yeah, I'll watch them with a bit of interest. You know, Bazunu there, and a few lads that may move on. You know, in all reality, you might get Romeo Lavia going somewhere else now, and you'll see if a bit of movement in the better players. But yeah, I'm a bit in the same boat as you. There's other teams that I'd rather see go down than Southampton, but they've been fairly scuttery this year. So unfortunately, they're the first ones out. But Emmet, you know, Sean, you touched on it there. Big game tomorrow night, because Leicester, you know, if we beat them tomorrow, it does pile the pressure on. But you know, if they beat us, as Shawnee said, the Ev be looking over their shoulder, they be back in the drop zone. They're desperate, aren't they, Everton? Before we won to Leicester, like, Everton are absolutely woeful.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody there the other day about it, and actually I wasn't talking to them. I was listening to a podcast, and there was a lad saying that he doesn't want to see them going down. He just wants to see them finishing 17th every year. So it's a perpetual struggle every single year. And I thought he had a really good point. Yeah, look, we've spoken about it at length on these podcasts. I think Everton are goosed regardless of whether they stay up or go down or not. So it makes, the only difference will be that there'll be a Merseyside derby, really, I think, because they're not going to be any threat on anybody in the league if they stay up. And if they go down, they could stay down for a long, long time. The next Merseyside derby will probably be Everton and Tranmere. That'll be something to look forward to. But yeah, look, I don't see us, touch wood, I see us winning out. We said it last week. I see us winning our 3 games. I think United and Newcastle, I think Shawnee's right. I think neither of them are going to go and win their last 3 games. I think there's an awful lot of pressure on United. United have, I think it's 4 games in 15 days or something like that between League and FA Cup.
Yeah.
I think Rashford is out now as well, isn't he? And he's their top goal scorer. I think he's got twice as many, I think, as anybody else. He's their main threat. Ballon d'Or nomination and all. But I don't see us going there. And I think we seal Leicester's fate tomorrow. I think we'll probably win comfortably as well.
Yeah. So yeah, look, take a quick look at the fixture. So Manchester United, they play Bournemouth at home. 5 days later, they're at home to Bournemouth away. 5 days later at home to Chelsea, and then 3 days later at home to Fulham in the league. Shawnee, where's the banana skins for you there in the Manchester United fixtures, or is there any?
I genuinely could see them dropping points in any of the 3 games because they've been, and I'm employing logic. They've been woeful on the road. That they've been really poor on the road, and Bournemouth have kind of they've sort of made it a fortress in a way there. They got some big results there at home. They were recently beaten by Chelsea there and all, but they beat us there. And look, they're safe now, so it's hard to know really. But Bournemouth away, I think Chelsea, you don't know what you're going to get, to be honest with you. We're actually kind of relying on Chelsea in two of the games because Newcastle have to go there away as well. So it'd be nice if you get 3 or 4 points from them games. And I think Fulham is not an easy game for anyone because they're really finishing out the season strong, and they've had an excellent season. I think they've quietly went about having an excellent season. I think Marco Silva has been brilliant there. I think some of the players who've come through really impressed me. The likes of Paulinho, and even this Vinicius lads has kind of stepped up in recent weeks since Mitrovic. So, and Mitrovic is back, and there's a bit of backstory here because fucking Fulham are well on top in an FA Cups quarter final where they were probably felt a little bit aggrieved. So, yeah, the thing is, I don't think United have been brilliant. I genuinely don't. Everyone in the chat knows how much I fucking hate the fuckers, including yourselves. But I genuinely don't think they've been good. I think they're a decent counter-attacking team. I don't think Ten Hag has brought them on leaps and bounds. I think they're really, really fortunate to be in the top 4 this season, solely because of how bad we'd been on the road and Chelsea struggles. They shouldn't really be anywhere near it. So I can genuinely, like, if you turn around and tell me that United were to take 4 points, a possible 4 points from the next 9, I actually wouldn't be surprised. If you tell me it'd be 5, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think if we win tomorrow, it means they need at least 2 wins. So, and there's no gimmies there. So if we win tomorrow night, we play Villa on Saturday the same time they play Bournemouth. We could literally be in the top 3 by the time kick off, like by the next game day, going into the last week of the season, because they play Chelsea, don't they? And I know Newcastle play Brighton on Tuesday night, so it's still really fucking tight. There's a bit of a mirage around the game in hand. I think the media probably play into a little bit, but they've got to fucking win them. You know what I mean? There's definitely no gimmies. You seen what happened tonight there with Newcastle? Brighton go away and smash the arse off Arsenal at home, for want of a better word. And they have to play Newcastle now on Tuesday, so they will be feeling it. I think Callum Wilson has already even referred to it. I don't know whether either of these sides are totally up for this. And then United as well have in the back of their mind that they're going to have to go and play that City team on Wembley. So if we win out, we can get top 4. I'm going to say it now. If we win out, I think we will get top 4.
That's the spirit that we like to see, Sean. And I agree with everything you've said there. Emmet, Newcastle have their games are, as Shawnee touched on there, they've got Brighton during the week. Then they've home to Brighton, home to Leicester, away to Chelsea. Where do you see them dropping points, or what's the scoop over?
I see them both losing points to Chelsea. And I think it might be a case of Brighton beating Newcastle on Thursday and then a draw against Chelsea. I think does us, doesn't it? If we win out. So I think both of them, either of them just have to, I think they're 66. I think they have to get to 60 or 72.
71.
To make. Yeah, but we can finish on 71 as well. And I think we've got a much better goal difference than United. So, and I don't think we're too far behind Newcastle. So if we stick a few, actually, hang on, I have it here.
So we've scored 4 more than Newcastle, but we've conceded.
We're only
7 more. So
we're only 7 behind Newcastle on goal difference. So we'll take care of that tomorrow. But now I see Newcastle dropping points against Brighton and Chelsea, and I see United finding it tough against Bournemouth. Shawnee's right; it's not an easy place to go. We've come a cropper there before as well. I see them probably. I think I don't think I can't see United losing any of the games. I can see them maybe drawing 2 of them and winning 1. So that's 5 points. that leaves them on 71, and we beat them on goal difference because of the 7-0, obviously. But now I see Newcastle dropping points against Brighton. I think Brighton can go there now. They got their hand slapped against Everton. God only knows how that result came about. But I think now they're back with a bang, like especially today, 3-0 against Arsenal. And I didn't get to see any of it, but I believe they absolutely played them off the park.
Yeah.
And then I see Newcastle drawn away to Chelsea, and that's where our in is. So either way, I think we're catching one of them.
Yeah.
If we win all three, we're catching one of them.
I agree. And I think the key is the draws. I mean, everybody focuses on defeats. We're now in the draw game now. Newcastle have drawn 12 games. Do you know what I mean? Like that's going to be in their head. They don't have a squad of winners. The mentality isn't in there. I think they drop points. I think I'm going to look again at them. I think Leicester might be a done deal, but I can see Brighton and Chelsea both getting something out of them. Manchester United, I can see dropping points. I agree with Seany. And I think the point about Bournemouth, they're not a great side, but when you go to their place and when you're a top team, when they think they have a scalp, when you're a top team that's underperforming, they lick their lips. They've done it to us, and I could see them going into that United game fancying something. So I think there's definitely a few twists and turns.
I think Liverpool and United.
It's the last home game as well.
Exactly. I think Liverpool and United are a scalp. They're probably the only two actual scalps, regardless of where they are in the league or how well they're doing, or whether you've got your flip-flops on or what time of the season it is. Teams always seem to put it in a lot more against us than they do against. They all bend over for City, in my opinion. But United and Liverpool are always a scalp. So even the teams that have nothing to play for will still want to get one over them. And Seany makes a valid point about the whole Fulham thing as well in the FA Cup quarter-final.
Yeah.
They'll want revenge on that as well. So
that's it. Yeah, there's loads of little things to play out here. And I know, look, Liverpool have to go and do the business to get all this done. But before we go on to them, just a word at the bottom. So I thought Leeds could have got a win against Newcastle, but the draw was good enough there. Who do you see going down at this stage now after all the games over the weekend? Seany, I'll go to you. What do you see? So Southampton, we know, are gone. Who else goes?
I'm just going to have a look at the table now, Keith.
I
actually think the current bottom three is what goes. I think. If I'm being honest with you, I think Wolves, Everton to play Wolves and Bournemouth.
Yeah,
they should get something. Leeds were okay yesterday, but the fans have piled in on the only fella in the team who's probably able to score goals, who's out of a bit of form. They play West Ham away, which is probably, you don't know where their head's going to be with the potential conference final. I don't know. It's really fucking tight down there. It really, that was a big result yesterday for Forest, I feel. But Forest have to go away to Palace and play Arsenal at home. And I couldn't tell you, but if they hedge me bets, I'd say the current bottom three will go down, because I watched Leicester against Fulham. My God, they are fucking brutal.
Yeah.
They are absolutely shy. And Leeds, although Leeds haven't even looked like they've got a bounce off Big Sam, they look collectively woeful and individually even worse. Like your man Junior Fairbairn yesterday, I swear on my life, he must have got the contract in a lucky bag, because it was fucking horrendous. He was absolutely horrendous. Like Senior Fairbairn, like fucking Leinster Junior Fairbairn, because he was absolute. That's probably a slight on the lads playing in the Leinster Junior, to be fair. I don't know. Is Calvert-Lewin injured?
Yeah. Someone put it in the chat there. Calvert-Lewin's gone.
Yeah, was that? I don't know whether he was taken off just to be. It's hard to know. Everything had a bit of fight in them. They got a big result against Brighton. I think that could be the one that keeps them up. I'm going to say that the current bottom three are the ones that go down. And put it this way, if it's not the current bottom three, it would mean Leicester would have potentially had to get something against Newcastle, which is good for us. So, I think Leeds, Leicester, Southampton, I think is going to drop because everything just seemed to have they seem to just get out of it somehow. But I think the worst is yet to come for them as well. So I don't mind the potential pitch invasion again for another year if they want to do that. Only for what's to come down the line. So let's see. But I'm gonna go with the safe bet and stick with the current bottom three.
Yeah, I think that home game at the last day for Everton, the old lady will be rocking that day, and they'll celebrate it like a Champions League win again. But look, that's what will happen. You might get out. Emma, what do you think? How do you see it going?
I think Seany's right. I think when you look at Leeds games, they're away at West Ham and then home to Spurs.
Yeah, home to Spurs. Spurs are sure.
But like, I just think Everton's two games are probably slightly easier. And like you said, their last game of the season against Bournemouth, like Bournemouth will definitely have their feet up at that stage. Last game of the season, they'll have got their last game at home out of the way. They'll have done their lap of victory, safe for the year, and then it'll be flip flops and sangria for them. And I'd say Everton probably gets safe on the last day. So I'll go Leeds, Leicester, and Southampton as well.
Yeah. You can't really see too much past that, I don't think, at this stage. No. As we said, Leicester look shy. Don't want to put a jinx on that around, but they just don't look like they have on the
I think all three of us have said it now. We'll be eating
you know, it's the game last week against Fulham, like they just don't look like they have anything. Again, talk about a new manager bounce. I didn't even know Dean Smith was their manager, and they don't seem to be getting at now with that. But look, it'll be interesting to see. Before we go on to talk about Liverpool, this show brought by bookmakers.com for all your gambling needs. If you're not into gambling, you know, don't look for that side, but you can get a lot of other information on there. It has everything, stats, analysis, all that sort of stuff. Excellent if you do fantasy football, all that sort of gear. And Gav does a show with the lads as well. But if you are into it, do gamble responsibly. Go up, give them a look, have a little scout at what they do, and you might be interested to find the content that they have over there. Excellent stuff. So yeah, bookmakers.com, go over and give them a check. So lads, we're going to talk about Liverpool now. We've sort of dug out Leicester here, but Sean, I'm going to come back to you. Do you see Liverpool going in here strong tomorrow? And are you worried, right? So this bit first, right? Liverpool, we expect to beat Leicester. Didn't Liverpool go off on a little sneaky warm weather break this week? One never good after them. One never good after them. Does that worry you, or am I being too paranoid? Am I a nervous wreck over nothing here?
No, I think it probably would have done us good, to be honest with you. It was a bit weird having that bit of a long of a break before the game, but I think Leicester are a team made for us at the moment. The way we're playing, the way they're playing, I genuinely do. They're conceding a lot of goals. They concede a lot of chances. They're a bit flashy going forward, but we've actually been we've kept a couple of clean sheets now in a row. Brentford to 0, Fulham to 0. So we've kind of found a way. Like, my take would be let them have the ball tomorrow night and just pick them off, because they're so poor defensively. Dean Smith's there now, isn't he?
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is they use them fucking clapper things, and they can store up a bit of an atmosphere on a Monday night, and it's huge for them, because they could a win for them tomorrow night would be 9 points. It'd be as big as getting 9 points, but I don't know. They look to be out of juice, look to be out of ideas and out of juice, and just seriously lacking in quality. I don't even know how they got the result at home to Everton, because they were dog shit. We'll have to be on it, but I'll expect us to go strong, and a bit more of an incentive for us now with Newcastle dropping points. Just put the foot down. It'd be nice now to drill these tomorrow night, and kind of even eat into that goal difference. But I take a 1-0 and 3 points now, if I'm being honest with you, because it's just about keeping the fucking pressure on now. And it can be a tricky ground at the best of times, the King Power, but I think they're in a different situation now. That they've really, really struggled It's kind of fucking sad, really, if I'm being honest with you. Again, similar to, I know that fans are allowed to bleed that fairly, it's Toryville, isn't it, Leicester? Like, if you want to get into, I know they're not well liked around the Liverpool parts, but it's gone horribly wrong for them very quick. And their owner's in a bit of a pickle because his business was heavily impacted with COVID, because they fucking own the travel industry in Asia, which has been decimated. So, yeah, it's been tough for them. I think we could probably send them down tomorrow night, though, if we beat them. So they are going to be fighting for their lives, but we should have too much quality for them.
Yeah, definitely. It's something Seany touched on, and we've sort of skirted around it as well, and nobody likes to talk about it. It's Crystal Palace all them years ago. Liverpool can go there and put a dent in the goal difference, and if they do that, and look, you don't want to be, running before you can walk, but if they can do that, that heaps the pressure onto Newcastle as well, because it drags them in as well, that we have over United, and if we come out this weekend eating into that, it sets Liverpool up wonderfully. But how do you see Liverpool going into this tomorrow?
Yeah, I agree with Seany. Look, Leicester can't afford to sit back. They a point won't do that. They have to win the game at this stage. And when you look at the other games that they have coming up as well, so Seany's right. Let them have it. Like they're gonna have to come out and play, which is gonna play right into our hands. And I do see us probably not making up the 7-goal difference, but maybe 4 or 5. I'd say we'll give a prediction at the end. But yeah, I think we're gonna go really strong. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I'm not sure we trained while we were away. I think it was like just a
jolly.
A little, yeah. The lads kind of jolly up, but so maybe the warm weather training thing won't affect us. But I think we go as strong as we can. Go as strong as we can next week. We know. I think Klopp has even said it. Like, do you know what I mean? We just need to win every game, and you have to win every game. Like I said it last week, that I would have preferred if we had played first, where we kind of put the pressure on them. Historically, it would not been great, where we kind of teams drop points and we have to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
It's always the same. But I think we go to the King Power, and I think we stick 4 or 5 past them. I know we've only won our games, but since the Leeds game, I think we've only won every game by a goal, if I'm mistaken, by 1 goal. And we have kept a few clean sheets, but I just think this game comes at a really bad time for Leicester, because they're going to have to come out and play. A point won't do them, and that's going to play into their hands, and we'll smash 4 or 5 past them. If they have Foyce playing at the back, he'll probably score 2 of them for us. So, or whatever way you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it being an issue tomorrow. Touch wood.
Yeah, it's interesting, like how Leicester have got to this stage. So, Sean, what do you put it down to? Is it right? I understand that the owners are in a pickle and all that sort of stuff, but it's easy to blame Brendan Rodgers, and we've done so here before. Is it down to Brendan Rodgers? Is it down to recruitment? Because you look at them, and their goalkeeping situation is absolutely disgusting. It's disgraceful how they've left themselves with a situation where they've got Danny Ward and Daniel Iverson as their goalkeepers. Or is that just too simplistic? Is it just it's endemic in the whole squad?
The thing is, Keith, like I only watched the video on this the other day from a YouTube channel called Tifo Football. I don't know what it is.
They're very good.
Familiar with it? It's very good. They've done an in-depth one on Leicester, and I can actually tell you exactly what happened to Leicester.
Go for it.
When they won the league. They gave out mad bonuses and contracts to players that were on fucking crazy money, and they started to stretch out a little bit in terms of the transfer market and the players that they were bigging in. So they completely abandoned their actually the fella who was the head of their recruitment was bought out by Everton, and he went there and he was a complete fucking disaster. But so they were selling players on for big money, but they weren't doing sort of what Brighton are doing now, where they were selling players on for big money, but they were still recruiting for relatively low. They started plowing the cash back into the club in terms of trying to go big. For example, like Tielemans, like the Turkish fella,
Daka.
what's his name?
Soyuncu.
Soyuncu, and Daka,
Hudson
and
Daka, yeah.
Ricardo Pereira,
Yeah.
and Samare, and they were coming in and they were on big wages, you know, and it basically crippled them. What happened was they narrowly missed out on top 4 2 years on a bounce, and they were like, oh, well, maybe we're just 1 or 2 short, and they had already been up to their bollocks and loans through kind of chasing that tail, and missing out on the Champions League 2 seasons killed them. And then obviously COVID factor in absolutely crippled them. So they've been fucked with FFP for the last couple of seasons, where it's really limited their recruitment. I'm not sure how many players he's added into that squad in the last 2 seasons, but in fairness to Rodgers, like, I'm not giving Rodgers a pass, because obviously something got to do with it, but he was completely hamstrung by COVID and FFP, that there was so little he could do, and they've had some horrific luck with injuries as well. Harvey Barnes has had 2 big ones. Justin Thomas has had a couple of big ones, and then I think they lose Schmeichel in the last week of the window to Nice, and there's fuck all they can really do about it. So it's an accumulation of being poorly run and poor decision making across the board from board level that right down to the manager. I think that's landed them where they are. It's just not really happened for them at all. And I don't think they couldn't even afford to sack Rodgers. I was reading collectively. I think Rodgers had a clause in his contract or something that if they weren't in the top 8 or 9, if they couldn't finish top 8 or 9, his contract could be terminated for a certain amount. And I think once that became mathematically, that was once that was a matter of fact mathematically, then they just were able to release him. So it's just one of it's a real when it rains it pours kind of situation for Leicester. They've spunked a load of cash. None of their big signings out. Like, we were in for Daka, and I don't know what the crack is. He's not getting near the team. Even Vardy's been out of the team and he hasn't been in. So it's not really it's not gone to plan for them at all. Obviously, there's been a bit of tragedy as well there with the owner's father and that horrific accident that happened as well. So it's not been smooth sailing for them. I think COVID is bandied around with some clubs a little bit, but I do genuinely think it's had a drastic effect on Leicester. And honestly, like, it's one of them. Not that they'll deal with Leeds, because obviously you can turn around and they've a really good academy, but like, there's no guarantees that they'll be a yo-yo club now and come straight back up next year if they were to go down. So it's tough. It's really tough for them. It's just been a shit show, if I'm honest. Like a series of unfortunate events, really, is one way you could put it.
Yeah, indeed.
Do you think that they have kind of big ego players that know that regardless whether we go down or not, I'm going to get a move anyway? I think somebody said there that Sioncho has already mentioned that
he's announced Atletico.
Yeah. I think Vardy, I just have a dislike for Vardy. I just have a genuine dislike for Vardy. But when it came to Ranieri, like the talk of Vardy, Schmeichel, all of them kind of turning the changing room against him, I just have a feeling that there's a few bad eggs in there, and they kind of probably not playing for the badge, or not playing. They definitely, I don't think they were playing for Rodgers, and I just think they think I'll get a move anyway, and it's like they've stopped caring. That's just the vibe I'm kind of getting off them.
Yeah, I seen the last game. Yuri Tielemans was the captain. I don't know if that's a regular thing, but that to me doesn't scream. You know, look, a lot of people like Tielemans, and on his day, he has assets that are great. He scores crackers the odd time, but he doesn't come across to me as sort of leadership. And you're in the trenches. And I hate that in the trenches talks. Real Sam Allardyce, Neil Warnock shy, but when you're down there and you have players, and you might be right, Emmy, you know, the character of these lads can probably be questioned a little bit. And look,
Tielemans is going for free anyway.
Like, he's out the door, and he knows he's going to get.
I think he had a run in with Rodgers earlier on in the season, and I think he was supposedly said that he wasn't going to play for them again, and he didn't play for a few weeks. But that's never good in a changing room, like. And when you're down the bottom and you're scrapping, everybody gets on your nerves and you're falling out with everybody, like, and it's hard to keep a group of players together, playing for you, and a change room together when you're down that end of the table. So I think it's been a kind of a snowball effect. I think everything that you've said, Seany, and then when you've got a couple of lads in there probably negative about it and stuff, it's just it all kind of adds up.
Yeah, look, we have to take care of them tomorrow night, but don't we? So we go in there. It seems like an eternity since we last played, and I hate these fucking Saturday to Monday gigs. But we're on tomorrow night, and we're going in on a great run of results. Maybe not the best form. I thought we were good against Brentford last week. To be honest, I thought we handled that game really, really well. I think we go into this with somewhat high expectations. But Emma, I'll stay with you. Liverpool go in here. How do you see us lining up? How do you see Liverpool's starting sort of players? Who do you see out there on Monday night?
I think that we will most likely see Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo. I think we'll see Fab, Hendo, and Jones. And then I think we see Salah, Gakpo, and Jota. I think that's what he goes with. That's what he went with for a couple of weeks. I'm not sure whether Núñez has done enough to get a start. Well, depends on how Jota's back is, but I think that's probably our strongest starting 11. I don't know, is Thiago back? I don't think he is, sure he's not.
No, he's gone for the season. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah. No mention of Bobby or...
No, Bobby said Bobby should be training this week.
As long as he's back for next Saturday, I'll be happy. But no, that's what I see him going with. I think that's probably our strongest at the moment. So we'll continue to see Trent going into that midfield position. Konate obviously covering, and that kind of gives Henderson and Jones the freedom to get forward then as well with the two with Fab and Trent in there. But that's what I see us going with.
What about you, Seany? Same, similar? Any changes to what Emmet says?
Yeah, I can't see it being too nothing drastic. I'd like to see Darwin play. I think it's a game where there might be a bit of madness there from the play. He's getting a bit of flack and all, Darwin. I think I'd like to see him play. He's getting a bit of shit. I see him coming about his ways, and it's coming to that time of the season where players are starting to kind of you're starting to dig out like awards and stuff like this and flop that. Like, he hasn't been anywhere near a flop in my opinion. Yeah. He seems that he's learning the ropes. It's very not too dissimilar to his first season at Benfica. We've clearly seen he's got talent. Look, he needs a bit of polishing, and I wouldn't have him under any other manager. I seen someone earlier saying that like Brighton were desperate to sign Darwin Núñez a couple of years ago from Almeria, I think it was in Spain. Yeah. If it's just going to be a case of patience with him. So I'd like to see him. I think tomorrow night could be a sort of game that suits him where he's on the shoulder, because they leave plenty of space in behind Leicester. I think it'd be something. Look, it's at a stage now where I'm happy to kind of see any with enough rest. Yeah.
I completely forgot about Diaz as well.
Yeah, but enough rest. Yeah, it's just been nice the last couple of weeks to look, isn't it? When the line out's out and you see, like, all right, if it's not going away, there's players there who can change it off the bench, because you're either going to have one of Gakpo, Jota, Núñez, or Luis Diaz on the bench. Yeah. You know, like, there's going to be a combo of two of them on the bench at least, you know. So it's good in that way. I don't see, like, they overran us a little bit in the first game of the season in the home game at Anfield. I think your man Dewsbury Hall was had a decent start to the game, but I haven't really seen us suffer from that. I think the change of system has kind of negated that a little bit. We've looked a little bit more solid. So yeah, I'm happy to go with just the tried and tested here, because again, we've had a 9-day break everyone should be more or less fit and firing, except for he who's champion named. We thank God we don't have to do this we don't have to do this dance for too much longer. That the clock is ticking on that one. So look, I won't be fucking pulling the phone out at 7 o'clock on the dot tomorrow night to see who starts. I'm confident that wherever 11 Klopp can put together, that we can get the result we need tomorrow.
Yeah, Shawnee makes a good point, Emma. You know, Darwin Núñez has come in for a lot of stick, and he divides so many people. And I think Shawnee hit the nail on the head. You know, his first year at Benfica, he doesn't get great numbers, but then he blows up in his second year. And all the indications for me with Núñez is that he's going to explode, because he's gone off the boil a little bit. He's been away at a World Cup. It's a new country. The team haven't been playing great. He's been working his balls off. The goals haven't happened. They miss. But what I always say about him is, when he misses a chance, he doesn't seem to affect. He just still plays. Do you know what I mean? He's always smiling. He could come off after missing 2 sitters and he'd be laughing and joking on the bench, and that could drive some people mad. But to me, it just shows that he moves on.
Shawnee made a great point there. Like, Núñez only played so much when he came in because of all the injuries that we had. I don't think we see him as much if we didn't have the injuries to Diaz and Jota. Now, Diaz and Jota are back now, so his game time is being limited, and that's probably the way it was going to be anyway, until those 2 boys got injured. But now I'd be, if the team sheet comes out tomorrow and Núñez is starting, I'd be delighted. If the team sheet comes out and neither Núñez or Gakpo are playing, and he's got Diaz in there with Jota going through the middle, brilliant. It's great to have a wealth of riches up there. But I think Núñez, I'm nearly sure somebody said the other day that Núñez even referred to his first season and second season at Benfica himself. So he could be just one of these lads that takes time to settle. Like, do you know what I mean? I think Simicas did an interview recently talking about him as well. Look, the main thing is nobody at the club seems to have any worries about Darwin Núñez. If everybody else is, everybody at the club is happy with Darwin Núñez, I'm delighted with Darwin Núñez. I think he's going to rip it up next year, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, no, I echo that as well. I think, you know, it's been a tough year for him, but the signs are there that he can take it on. But he's dead right. He's about
Chap hasn't a word of English. Like, everybody forgets that. Like, do you know what I mean? He hasn't, like, literally hasn't a word of English.
Yeah, Harry Kane. He scores loads of goals.
I like that. But no,
and he's only a young fella as well. It's a massive change of culture, like. Massive change.
I think, boys, to be honest with you, I think the English thing doesn't really wash for me, if I'm being honest, lads. You know, you're in front of goal. The goal doesn't care what language you speak. No. It's about composure, and I just think he just needs to be polished up a little bit.
No, I'm talking more about tactics, Shawnee.
Yeah, but he's getting moved around a lot as well in the team, which doesn't help. You know what I mean? So like he's been playing in a fucking dysfunctional Liverpool side. Even Salah, up until recently, his numbers were way off. I think he scored 9 in a row. So, you know, like, it's just one of these things. You don't always hit the ground running. Look, a prime example is Jack Grealish. Like, I think he speaks English. I think his English was all right. But what it was is he just needed coaching, and it took a long time. And he was getting slaughtered pillar the post about how much they pay for him. But he's been fucking brilliant this year. If you watch him for Man City, he's become a key cog for them. So he's gonna just have to learn how to play Liverpool. I've seen someone lashing up the highlights of the game he had against us for Benfica at Anfield in the quarter final last year, and he was electric. Yeah. And his finishing was unreal. And that's the thing with strikers. It's most of the time it's confidence. If he wasn't getting the chances, I'd be more worried. If he wasn't getting into them positions, I'd be more worried. The fact he has the ability to walk them positions and get into them positions, if he can work on his finishing, his numbers are going to improve drastically. If he wasn't getting chances, then I'd be worried. But he's getting some great chances. And Haaland missed the most big chances in the league this year. He just happened to take the most as well at the same time. And that literally can be that. It's fine margins. Especially when you're duking it out trying to play like at the top of the Premier League, where you're vying for them 4 spots, or you're even trying to challenge Man City. It's all under a microscope. And I just think he's low-hanging fruit at the moment for the media for multiple reasons. For the price tag, it's different depending on who you ask. And the fact that he's just a click machine, and he has been since he came in. Sure, he was getting wrote off after a fucking pre-season friendly, for fuck's sake. After 10 minutes of a pre-season friendly against United, I think, in the middle of the back arse of Bally go backwards. Like, nobody could even tell you what score. Yeah, honestly, anyone tell me what score that game was?
I think they gave us a hiding, did they? 4-0.
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. So that's the thing, like, you know, it's just... It's gonna be one of them things. He's had a fucking mad first year. He's literally done everything, getting sent off and all the first game. But look, he'll learn from it. I'd like to see him get a start. Like, I'd like to see. You see how much Klopp already trusts Gakpo. I'd like to see him kind of give fucking Darwin a little bit of a push to say, look, I'm trusting you here, and go out and do something, because there's jeopardy in these games for us, you know. And like I said, I feel we have enough on the bench to turn around, but I think when his dam opens, I think it'll be goals galore, to be honest with you. And I think opposition fans fucking know that as well.
Deep down.
Yeah. They do, yeah.
You listen to the fact that
he signed in the same... the fact that he signed the same season as Haaland probably didn't help either, because as soon as he signed, it was a Haaland v Nunes situation.
He's just stupid at Haaland, fella.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. He's not even good. It's just stupid at this stage. It's ridiculous.
Sick
now. And hats off to him, in fairness, because fucking
phenomenal goal scorer.
Yeah. Under the pressure he's been under as well. I know he's gonna play for them cheating cunts, but I think he has a brain. I don't think he's gonna hang around there too long. I think he'd be back with his own mate Jude in Madrid in a few years, probably.
Yeah, possibly. Can't rule that out. But that's always been the way with him, hasn't it? He's done it everywhere he's been. I was probably in the summer a bit giddy that Nunes might outscore Haaland. We'll have to take that one back. I don't know if we said it publicly, but I'll say it now. Do you know what I mean?
I had Haaland down as flop of the season at the start.
So, there you go. You know, it was wishful thinking, I think. Wishful thinking, because I think everybody knows this fella is just an look, put it this way, he's done it in Germany now, he's done it in England. If he does move to Real Madrid, there's not going to be any talk of flopping around. It's just going to be watch them play.
Yeah, I only flashed up on YouTube today his debut in the Bundesliga, so I was like, what's going on here? He's like a hat-trick debut. He come off the fucking bench for Dortmund and scored a hat-trick in 14 minutes or something. Like, he's a freak. Honestly, and you know what? I love De Bruyne. I even love De Bruyne as a person. I like how he is in interviews. And then I seen Haaland's interview last week after the Arsenal game, and he seems like a good lad as well. You know, he doesn't take himself too seriously. He's not a big corn dog bastard like that fucking Zlatan fella was referring to himself as Lions don't get injured, and he's had about 8 ACL injuries in the last 6 months. You're not that much of a lion, are you, Zlatan, you big fucking cheese ball? But Haaland is he seems to have a head on his shoulders. I seen his outfit and I was throwing peanuts and all that to the Madrid fans, you know. So a bit of crack and a bit of character, and doesn't take himself too seriously. But fuck me, a hell of a goal scorer. Only for the fact Messi and Ronaldo actually existed, people would be going, we've never seen that like this before. But the thing is, we have.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, you get the other side of it that you don't get with Haaland, but yeah, he's phenomenal. And I'm sort of not glad Liverpool weren't in a title chase this year, because he just fucking give you sleepless nights at this stage. But Arsenal, before we move on to a little bit of transfer stuff, you know, Arsenal's challenge as Peter, the way it's gone to shy. I predicted that I would from a long way out, because to keep pace with this Manchester City side, they are relentless and they are a machine. And you said at the start of the show, Seany, about, you know, teams only starting to realise about City, you know, when it's against Liverpool, City are saving football. When it's not Liverpool in the race, they're sort of saying, hey, what's going on? This is terrible. This is this, that, and the other. Arsenal I never felt had the minerals to do a 90-point season. It's a really hard thing to do. It's become normalised nearly by these two great teams over the last few years. And it's a fucking hard thing to do. It's a hard target to meet. And I just hope Liverpool can position themselves now to get back to that level, and I think they will. I think there's a lot of positives there at Liverpool that we can hopefully go back up to that. But you know, do you see Arsenal, Rishon? You'll ask you, do you see Arsenal as a lucky season for them, or can you see them sustaining this and being in a mix in future seasons to continue this push to the home straight nearly? You know what I mean? They didn't get there in the end, but to be there still now, give them a bit of credit for that. But do you see this as sustainable, or is it a flash in the pan?
Sustainable. I don't need to see you were shy in the opening part of the season. Like, they were really poor. They weren't themselves at all. It looks like they were making some adjustments and trying to figure out a sort of system that would help Haaland. And the only kind of really clicked in December. And we all know, because that's normally what they do. Arsenal have showed huge improvement. I think their recruitment was brilliant in the summer. I know Jesus gets injured, but Zinchenko comes in, does really well for them. And I really love Saliba. I think he's the best young centre-back in the world. I think he's miles ahead of the rest. I think he's fucking brilliant, honestly. He reminds me of Ferdinand. They've missed him big time since he's got injured. But they just didn't have the... I think the closest comparison you can make to Arsenal is probably 13-14 Liverpool, probably without a Suarez, where they have 13-14 players who keep fit for a large part of the season and carry them. But as soon as I watched the Liverpool game at Anfield, I knew they were done, because they looked spent when we pulled back to 2-1. They look leggy, they look tired, and they look like it's starting to catch up on them in the second half of the season, and it has. And I wouldn't have the word bottlers thrown at them, because it's fucking ridiculous what the City team are doing. Honestly, they're cheating, they are cheating, but on top of that, you can't draw games with them. If you're high 8, you think about Premier League, I'd say from 2000 to 2015, if you're getting high 80s, you're winning the league every year. You know, that's sort of the standards that this City team have set. They're going to go and probably win 14 games in a row, which is fucking mad. They could end up on 94 points, which would probably go, that's a little bit low. You know, but I don't think you can take on from Arsenal. I'm going to sound a bit like fucking John Giles here, but you take each season on its merits, and exactly where they needed to be was in the top 4. They ran close, but they just ran out of steam. Now, I think it's going to be a big summer for them in terms of recruitment. They're going to have issues now with how much money they're going to have to pay Saka, how much money they're going to have to pay Saliba, and they're back in the Champions League, so they'll have to deal with that next year. So they might need 3 or 4 players. But one thing that will go for Arsenal is just their way this season is that I don't think they went real fucking deep in the cup competitions. So I don't see that being a potential legs issue next year, like a hangover, which potentially will happen to City, because they're going to lose a few players. They're going to lose Gundogan. I think they're going to lose Bernardo Silva. I think there's a chance they might even lose Mahrez, amongst others, and they will need to be replaced. So they'll be under pressure to do that. And I'm not just saying it. I actually think United have a fucking massive summer ahead, because the guts of that squad is they're all Bruno Fernandes, Lindelof, Varane, De Gea, and who else was, I think, Christian Eriksen. They're all 29, 30, 31. They're all getting on. Yeah. So, and they've played a lot of games, so it's going to be a factor. I don't think Arsenal are a flash in the pan. I do genuinely rate Arteta as a coach. I really rate some of our young players. I think Saka is phenomenal. I think Odegaard is phenomenal. Saliba is very good. Gabriel is very good. I think Ramsdale will be the ruination of them if they're going.
I was hoping you were going to say that. If you were going to put him in the very good group, I was going to mute
I don't think I don't think Ramsdale is a top goalkeeper whatsoever. Ben White as well. I think he's a bit of a cold hero for them, but I don't think he's up to scratch. I genuinely think he got absolutely torched today by Matoma. Xhaka looks to be out, and Thomas Partey fucking won't get into that.
Yeah.
But they're gonna need. I think they're looking at Declan Rice, but they're gonna need him amongst others. So Arsenal have a bit of work to do in the summer, but I don't think they'll be a flash in the pan. But I don't expect them to kind of keep the same pace next year as he did this year. But they can make themselves a Champions League regular, which is exactly what the Cronkies want. And I'm not sure that fans will ever be happy, because they were walking out today at 2-0 after the season that the team gave them. So it's not great on them. So look, I think Arsenal, if they if you look back, they're going back in the Champions League, they would have snapped your hand off, but they have a bit of work to do next season in terms of what they do in the window. But flash in the pan, probably it might be a slight on them to call them a Leicester. I think that might be a slight on them as well, because they're gonna have a high points return where they probably would have won the league 80% of the other seasons. It's just they're up against these cheating cunts. And you know what? The last thing I'll say now is, it was all well and good when Man City were beating us to titles. They were saving football, this, that, and the other. Wait until you're in it. If there's any United fans watching, any Chelsea fans watching, there's not just be a couple of Arsenal fans. They'll feel exactly what we felt. Wait until you're in it with them. United have never been in a title race with Man City since the cheating got obsessive. Excessive, seriously. They haven't, because I know they beat them to it. I think it's 08-09, the fucking Aguero, but they haven't challenged since they won it, really. So United don't know what it's like to be going up against these fucking 90-point juggernauts. And it's all, I know tribalism on, you're happy to see them winning and not Liverpool, but I'm telling you now, it was very, very close to becoming a fucking Bundesliga job or a League One job where it's completely monopolised. Look at the fucking effort it's taken Arsenal to keep up with these absolute cunts. And they only had to show for the second half of the season. And I'm sorry for using that. Well, I'm not sorry for using that word, but it's past the watershed. And if you're offended by that, that's a you problem. I'm sorry, but it's soul destroying. I just really hope that fucking something was done about them, because they are cheating bastards. I hope they win the whole lot this year and it's all ripped from them in the next 6 months, because they all think of it. Even Pep is pettiness. He never looks happy. I wouldn't mind Pep. What age is he? Touching 50?
26.
Yeah, Cunt is absolutely gorgeous. He's absolutely gorgeous. He's more money than he knows how to do with. He's an absolutely brilliant coach. But it looks like his fucking face would break if he'd smile. He's a miserable pox.
You wouldn't want to go for a point for him.
He knows deep down that he should have taken the United job, not the City job, because at the end of the day, it will all mean fuck all if they have to continue to cheat to do this. And that's the thing. The Rasol is fucking husk of a club. I really hope Madrid can do a job in them. As much as I hate them cunts as well, but at least respect them. I honestly hate it. I hate this Guardiola cunt. I hate Man City. I hate Man So. I hate everything they stand for. And it's only kind of now everyone else is opening their eyes up to seeing exactly what's going on here. It's become a fucking monopoly in front of your eyes. Only for Jurgen Klopp, who, let me tell you, is a better manager than Guardiola, by the way. Because if Guardiola was working for FSG, he'd be out in Lomans in a white jacket, belted up to his ears. Because he'd be going in a padded cell, banging his head off walls. He'd be going fucking absolutely mental. But yeah, if you spent seasons bleeding, preying on Liverpool, it's the Moyes on top of fucking Cities. There you go, up your bollocks, Arsenal fans. That's how it tastes. And you know what? You don't even feel like we did, because we done fucking 97 points and didn't win it. And we done it again and then we didn't win it again. We fucking lost one game. It's a joke. I fucking hate them. It's a load of bollocks. Get rid of them.
Dead right. Get them out. Kick them out. Shy bags. Hate them. Everyone hates them. But it's true. You know, they have cheated their way. They'll stick. And look, their fans will always say, look, oh, well, I don't care. I've been to Gillingham and I went to Chesterfield and I couldn't give two shites where you went. This is cheating. It's not sport. It's just sports washing. It's money getting thrown at things. Look, Pep Guardiola is a genius. I think he's a great coach. But you're right. If he had to do anything where he doesn't have, let's say, a bottomless pit, because they don't go out and spend. They'll always say, "Oh, we don't spend that much in the last few years," but the resources there to go out and fix any problem they want. And if you had to do it in different circumstances, I'd love to see Guardiola having to do it in a different circumstance. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. He'll just go somewhere else where he's got the funds to do it. But look, it's going to be, another year of Manchester City winning it. It will be interesting to see if they can go and do a treble, and whether Manchester United fans will be supporting them for that, like they do when Liverpool are going for chases with them. It was a City United. Manchester was never as happy over the last few years as when United fans were supporting City with their near neighbours. But Emmet, what do you think? Before we'll finish up on a bit of transfer stuff in a sec, but can you see anyone else breaking into that chase? Like, I'm going to assume Liverpool are going to get back to that. Until they don't.
Well, that's what I was going to say about Arsenal. I think this season was probably Arsenal's best chance to win the league, because you've got a Chelsea side that couldn't hit a barn door. We've had an off season. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you and see it.
My laptop went off. Sorry. Chelsea will be back next season. We'll be back next season. You'd expect United to be, well, you'd expect them to strengthen. I think Arsenal are probably still 4 or 5 players away from challenging again, especially now that they have the Champions League. It's tough to go. And like Seany said, there's only one club now that know what it's like to go toe-to-toe. And I don't even think they went as toe-to-toe with City as we have.
Yeah.
And they were, I'm sorry, but Arsenal were one of the loudest ones that were begging for Man City to save football and all this kind of stuff. So, like, you reap what you sow. I didn't think they were going to go the full term either this season. Their squad is too light. He made some strange decisions. I think it was the game after. I think they drew 2-2 with West Ham. And they started your man Vieira, I think. I was like, why aren't they starting your man Trossard? Why didn't they start Trossard? Trossard's an unbelievable player. This Vieira fella only pops up every now and again. So he probably didn't do himself any favours, but I think they can, with maybe 3 or 4 players, become a top 4 team to return back to this 20 years consistently in the top 4 or 20 years and consistently in the Champions League. But I think this year was probably their best chance at winning the league. Like Seany said, City were dirt at the start of the season. Nearly as bad as us. But then they are a freak side. They just go on a run of 14, 15 games winning. And when they have built up that head of steam, and I think Arsenal only have something like, is it 8 points out of the last 21 or something like that? I thought I was reading earlier on. So I think this year was their best chance. I think we're back next year without a doubt. I think Chelsea will improve. United will probably improve as well. I don't know how much though. This takeover thing is rumbling on. I don't think they have a pot to piss in until that happens. So you never know what's going to happen. Seany's right. They have an agent squad as well. Casemiro looks like a busted flush the last couple of weeks as well. But it'll be interesting now to see if Newcastle get top 4, how much they go out and spend. So, I mean, it used to be a top 4, then it changed to a top 6. Might not be long before it's a top 8, and it's a struggle every year to try and get into that top 4. I think it's still an excellent season for Arsenal. You just watch they're a great team to watch playing football as well. Like, do you know what I mean? If you look, City are a great side that go on these 14-game runs, but they're absolute poison to watch.
Yeah.
And Arsenal were excellent this year. Seany's right as well. They will have to start upping the wages on these lads to try and hold on to them. But I think top 4 is probably the target going forward. They might kind of get to February, March before falling away, but I think it's for the foreseeable anyway. As long as Pep is there and as long as Klopp is there, I think it's Liverpool and Man City kind of duking it out for the title, and then the rest duking it out for the last 2 spots in the top 4.
Yeah, you can't take it for granted because you've hit on, like, if Manchester United get bought out, which they will do, but it depends which way that goes. If it's by Radcliffe, then right, we'll breathe a sigh of relief if it's by blading the fucking Qatari princess or whoever it is that's trying to buy them. There could be issues there if they get that done quickly because they're just going to spend. They don't have to worry about cheating once they have that money. Financial fair play.
I think it won't be like that as soon as the Qataris come in because there is FFP issues at United already. So they will have to now.
But this will be the first time that they've taken over an established big club as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Lads, I thought about this myself. It was just like, does it work?
I don't think it does. It works at a Newcastle or a Man City because
but does it even work? Does it right? Does it work if you don't have Pep Guardiola?
No. I mean, PSG hasn't worked.
No. Well, PSG literally had.
Well, I mean, Pep Guardiola hasn't won anything yet.
Yeah, but
Pellegrini and Mancini didn't win.
Let's be honest. I don't see the next Man City manager getting 90 points a season.
No. As a standard.
No. Yeah, but in terms of trophies won, he's not won anything that the previous two didn't. Unless he goes and wins the Champions League.
Yeah, well, look, you can nearly. Yeah, well, look, that's what I mean. Like, even Guardiola has won fucking 20 odd domestic titles with Man City, but like after all, like if he doesn't do the Champions League, like there'd be an argument there that you could say he's a failure. Now, there's an argument to say that how is he a fucking failure? He won all these titles, but the sole purpose of him going in there was to win Champions Leagues. Like the United, the United expect just because they're a team with history that if they just plow a lot of cash into it, well, United spend fucking more money than everyone else anyway. So
you forget about that.
They don't need super wealth; they just need structure and someone to make the right decisions. Now, what they can do is hire the best in class. But what stinks to me that if Qatar do end up winning from this situation, they're after getting rolled all over a fucking barrel by the Glazers. They're buying a club for twice its worth. And literally without hesitation. So it would show that they're not the savviest, because I think they'd be far more savvy taking that money to fucking North London or West London and buying West Ham or Spurs, who would fucking be eternally grateful for any success that you bring in. Whereas if they go into United plowing cash in, the minimum expectations is going to be Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, and they haven't managed to do that wherever they've went. They've sports watched everything else, but one thing they haven't managed to do yet is win a Champions League. So, and look, fucking PSG are an absolute fucking basket case at the moment. And to Newcastle's credit, they've not gone gung-ho. They've been clever, and apparently that's the approach they're going to take. And if that's the case, fucking fair play to them. But there's this super wealth is a bit of a fallacy for me at the moment, because like it's like when we done the show, Keith, about the list of players. Remember the top 20 most expensive transfers of all time, and like 75% of them are misses.
Yeah.
So money doesn't guarantee you fucking that unless you have correct structure. But look, we're the antithesis. Like, we've spent hardly fucking anything, but we just had brilliant structure and we won everything. You know, so that's exactly. It's one of them things where it's not to be careful what you wish for, because I do agree with United. Like, I know I take the piss out of them, but I agree with United fans. Fucking the Glazers are absolute scum. They're absolute scum. There's no doubt about it. They've ran that club into the ground. But you can't say they haven't not spent money. It's just they've neglected the structures of the club. And
they took a dividend out every year.
Yeah, I think that's where United fans get mixed up. They're like, fucking Glazers, toy cunts. They're not toy cunts. They literally, you spend everything you make. You've spent more money than anyone since Fergie left. Now, anyone, PSG, Man City, Madrid, everybody, they spent more money than everyone. So it's going to be interesting, like, in terms of the makeup. And I think the top 5 gets Champions League next year, don't they?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But we're going to move off them, slightly. The big one, right? We talked a little bit about transfers, so there's not much going on. But one thing that I can see happening, which could have a huge impact on the Premier League, where's Neymar going to go in the summer? Do you have any thinking on that? Because he's out the gap at PSG. They're Bladen outside his gaff, Bladen.
I don't know where he's going to go in the summer.
He can only go to the Premier League.
I don't know where he's going to go in the summer, but I can tell you where he'll be in March.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Little strain over there, rubbing oil on his sister's back.
Yeah, brushing his teeth in his sister's ensuite, but with no jokes on, I'd say. I actually don't know. I don't know.
He could drop into the Premier League, but that's it. He could drop into these teams.
I honestly can't see anyone being stupid enough to buy the fella. He's out for 6 months a season.
No, Chelsea, United and Chelsea, I think
Bowley
will be all
will.
over this.
I can honestly see him in America as something. What a waste, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something years ago United would have done. You would have been stupid enough to do, but I actually don't think Ten Hag wouldn't have that at all. I don't think. And Bowley, fuck me, I don't know.
But Pochettino mightn't want that. He's after getting that gig, didn't he?
I can see him going to Saudi Arabia or something. Newcastle ain't gonna go near the media because
too much money involved.
Howe's already put the kibosh on it. I don't know.
I was going to say could be their Robinho.
Yeah, I don't know. What age is Neymar?
You see, I think you said, Johnny, that Newcastle are doing it correct. But I think Man City did it very similar to this until they got into that top four and until they started qualifying for stuff. And then they started opening up the checkbook. And I think that's probably something that you're going to see with Newcastle as well. They've not signed any... They've signed these kind of good players to get them where they want to be, and that's as soon as they get where they can start spending money, that's when we're going to see it kind of take off. I know that they're saying that they're not going to, but they definitely will.
Neymar is 31, so he's near the end of his playing career. And anyway,
yeah, he's playing since he's young as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
so he's at a top level. I mean,
yeah.
I won't say I don't care, but I genuinely don't know. It's fucking madness what's gone on there with his career, because all he had to do was stay at Barca.
Yeah,
and he would have been fucking a legend there, because he was the season before he left, he was fucking brilliant for them. I think that's why he left, because he left to go down Messi's shadow and then ended up playing with Mbappe and then Messi again. So, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen with Neymar. If I had to hazard a guess, I'm saying probably Saudi Arabia with the other fella.
Yeah, be interesting to see how it goes. Emmet, Liverpool news. I think Roberto De Zerbi said he can see Caicedo and Alexis McAllister maybe moving on from Brighton. Can you see them, either of them, ending up at Liverpool, or what you're reading on these?
I think McAllister is probably the more likely of the two, but I would take both of them in a 150 million deal or something like that. And I think somebody said, it might even been yourself, Keith said earlier on, even send some players in the opposite direction.
I think Kev might have said that in the chat.
Okay, maybe Keller, and even like a loan deal for Carvalho or something like that. They're signing players in those positions as well. And then the fact that he comes out on Sky earlier on and actually says that they both or one or the other may go, it's kind of nearly putting the ink on the contract, isn't it, really? So I'd like to see both of them. Caicedo and Ugarte are probably very similar in where they play. But I'd do a deal for both of them. Just get it over and done with. And you probably get it done early, and you'll probably get a better deal if you're taking both of them.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I'd be all over that myself. Shawnee, what are you thinking? 1, 2, none?
It looks like there's a lot of noise around McAllister, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take both of them in a fucking heartbeat, but I don't know. I'm not as optimistic about the window.
Yeah, and you've said that for a long time, in fairness.
It's not. I don't pay much attention to Neil Jones, because he's been proven wrong an awful lot, and not a slight on him. I think sometimes he gives his opinion as fact, in the articles, which is fair enough because he's a journalist. But I've been I'm a little bit put off by the lack of how many like a natural number 6 that we've been linked with. Look, I know there's talks there. You don't know what's going on there. Apparently Newcastle and Villa are looking at him, and Liverpool won't pay his release clause. But I do think we need the specialist number 6. You give me McAllister, Mount, and a number 6, and auxiliary centre back, right sided, right full. I'd be happy, because I was thinking we were going to get Bellingham, but I don't see this fucking massive outlay as promised, because it's never ever came.
Yeah.
It's never ever came. I don't know what I hate the term net spend, but I don't know whether it transferred out sort of outlay has ever exceeded more than 70 million under FSG.
Yeah.
And that's just how they operate, unfortunately for us. But I think with the prices being thrown around now for players, like, you're gonna have to fucking stump up, or else you're not gonna get. It's becoming harder to scout these lads for cheaper, because you have the likes of Brighton who can offer them like football 90 minutes every week, whereas we can't really do that. We need 4 at least. We need 3 midfielders. But look, I'd love someone to prove me wrong. I can't remember the last window where we weren't left one short, and I'm not very optimistic about it, to be honest with you.
Until it happens, you're not going to.
Yeah, like, I'm not. What the thing is, what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna read 20 bleeding articles a week from linked to this player who there might be nothing in it, only for it to be kiboshed by Pearce or Joyce or whatever, and then getting a fucking hump over it.
Yeah.
Over people we are probably never linked to. Because you need to realise at the same time, Liverpool are definitely looking for players, but what we are as well is what prime me for journalists and clubs who are looking to drive up fees for players by saying X player is being linked to Liverpool. It automatically adds M's onto a price tag, you know. So I want to see us recruiting smart, and I think you guys will be a very, very smart signing, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Am I going to lose my shit if it doesn't happen? No. All I do know is we need minimum 3 midfielders in and some sort of defensive player. It depends how way Klopp's going to go. I'm apprehensive about being optimistic, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. The only reason I'd sort of veer on the side of there will be a bigger outlay is because the players leaving have to be replaced. So that is the only thing that makes me think, if it was a case that we have, enough midfielders, I just think we have to do something there. We have to bring in players that can go into the first team. So that's the only reason why I'd be a little bit more optimistic that something can happen. But I agree, until it happens, and we're not leaving ourselves one short, we'll see in the summer. But it's one I'd love to see the both of them coming in. I think they're excellent. Caicedo, more of they're not really, I suppose, 6s either, and they can both play in a 2, but not maybe a defensive specialist. But the energy they give our team, the creativity as well with McAllister, the work rate is there. People think he's not a hard worker of McAllister. He is. He's done a lot of the graft for Argentina with Enzo Fernandez in the World Cup. He's done a lot of the leg work there. He's got a good engine on him. So I'd love to see him coming in. But like that, we may not even be linked for him. As Shawnee said, there's a lot of talk about it now coming from the Argentina side as well. And usually when the South American journals, and Shawnee had sent one on to us the other day, when these boys are on it, you can usually give it a bit more heat, like when the likes of Diaz and all was happening, things like that. So look, I just think it'll be interesting to see what happens until we get a signing. We won't know. But lads, before we finish up, right, very quickly, want to get his score predictions for tomorrow night because I forgot we were even playing. Emmet, what score is the match going to be? Give me a goal scorer. Or goal scorer.
5-0.
Love it.
And
Love that.
I'll go Salah hat-trick, Nunez and Diaz.
None for Wild Foyce, no.
No.
Well, okay. Shawnee,
We'll
what
go
about yourself?
6-0. We'll go 6-0 and give him one.
Give him one, yeah,
5-0,
fuck it. Why not?
I think 3-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, happy enough. I think that's enough. Just a little chip in at that goal difference. Another 2 off it.
Yeah, I just kind of win at this stage and keep the pressure on. Goal difference or not. Like, if we have to go out and score a lot of goals against Southampton the last day of the season, we could try it then, but just get points on the board for now because I think that's going to be money for us. Like I said, I think if we win out, we'll finish in the top 4.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we want. You know what I mean? That's all we want. A few of the lads in the chat have said there about Caicedo has been playing right back for Brighton as well. It's very interesting. You know what I mean? If you bring him in, you could do a little rotation with Trent, 20 minutes here and there. You go into right back, I'll go into midfield, might walk out, bit of cover. It's all the stars are aligning on this. But yeah, I think Liverpool are going to win. I think 4-0. I think they will beat them heavily. Not as optimistic as Emmet, but I just don't see much in Leicester at the moment. I know they got 3 against Fulham, but you said it earlier, Shawnee, they were shy. You know what I mean? They were brutal.
Fulham got 5.
Yeah, Fulham got 5. Exactly. But they just don't look like they're a very solid team. And look, again, that can come back to bite us on the arse, you know what I mean? But we'll wait and see. Before we finish up, I just want to say I'm wearing a home farm top today. I was off watching the under 15 boys in the SFAI Cup final, and unfortunately the lads lost to a team from Athlone, St. Joseph's in Athlone, so unlucky to them. But the under 12 girls won their All-Ireland final, and it's their under 12's first time going at it, and it was a great day for the club, so I just wanted to wish them all the very best in their celebrations. 12, 11 years old, probably still out partying now. But good luck, well done to them all, the management, the girls, well done. So, lads, have you anything else before we go? Emmet?
No, all good.
Good stuff. Shawnee?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I do.
Okay.
This will be the last show before we all meet up together next weekend in Liverpool, so I'm looking forward to that. So I probably won't be on another show. Spoiler alert.
It could be the last show.
could be the last show because me and Gav might end up like playing Russell Crowe out of South Park scrapping down the dock. I'm only this. I'll never fight with Gav, but yeah, me and the boys heading over to Liverpool next weekend. Myself, Keith, Emmet, Gav. Kev O'Sullivan as well is on board, and I believe I'm meeting a few more, and my brother Alan as well is tagging along with us, so yeah, it should be a bit of crack.
We don't stand a chance, Keith, with the 2 handsome Lawsons with us.
No, we never did, Emmet, let's be honest, but never. But no, it's a good point.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it, so it should be a bit of crack. So if any is around, actually bounce over, then Gav might buy you a point.
Yeah, yeah, you'll know Gav. He'll be the one with the wallet.
Are we doing stuff over there? I think we might be doing stuff over there, are we?
I don't know. We just show up. We're the talent. We just show up and get told what to do.
We might be doing stuff over there.
I don't know about that. It's not my contract.
Yeah. We do Sunday night. Sunday night,
yeah,
and that's it.
I'm looking
that stuff would have to go behind the paywall.
Yeah,
it should be a bit of crack. Who knows? We might even end up setting up a fucking OnlyFans or something at the end of it. That can happen.
Yeah, real nothing out. But good. Yeah, dead right. We'll be over there. If anyone's in Liverpool at the match around Villa or anything like that, come over, say hello. Abuse us. I don't want abuse, but you know what I mean. It'd be a big head on me, so just come over and say hello.
God only knows who's doing the fat back 4 next Sunday.
Oh yeah, the bleeding invisible back 4 on Sunday night it'll be. But yeah, now we'll
shop.
yeah, exactly. Little mobile phone job. But now it'll be good crack. But listen, we'll leave it there. As Shawnee said, we'll be in Liverpool. Come over and say hello to us. And we'll talk to you all again soon. We've been the Fatback 4, and we'll see you all again during the week.